What is up, everybody? So I wanted to do this video kind of after seeing this Conan O'Brien piece. I think he uploaded to his website on the internet, and he was talking to some famous person, and he asked him if he was a gamer, and he responded with, "I mostly play Call of Duty," and I was kind of like, "Really? You consider yourself a gamer if mostly a gamer like a gamer if you play mostly just Call of Duty? Like you're not a gamer if you just play one specific game and that's the only game that you play." I feel like a gamer or someone that plays video games as a passion is someone that plays multiple video games, consumes a lot of video games, and plays pretty much video games of pretty much any genre or any type, and doesn't really have a specific set genre, although some might just play like first person or third person shooters like myself, and they'll kind of branch off and do other things related to the video game industry. Someone that kind of researches the video games sort of constantly, and someone that cares about where the industry is going. And that is kind of my definition of the term video gamer. I don't really like the term video gamer or the term gamer, because I feel like it places a brand on someone and that they are kind of branded as a gamer or nerd, when in fact all they do is really play video games, and they just share a passion with pretty much everybody else in the world. Because most of the time people nowadays will play video games, and they play video games not just for fun, but some play for a living, some play for a sport, which I don't really consider video games a sport. I'm kind of mad at the fact that esports is now going into the X Games, and that people that just sit on the couch and play video games all day can eventually get to the X Games without really having to do much physical activity. I consider the X Games to be similar to like skateboarding, also like biking and motorcycles and stuff like that. An extreme sport that really does take some effort, and I don't think that video games are really that much of an effort. I feel like all you're doing is really just using the joystick and kind of communicating with your team, and in that sense, yes, it is sort of a team-based sport, but it's not to the point where it should be considered a X Games sport. I feel like it should be in the realms of MLG or an esports type event, but I don't feel as though that MLG should kind of take over. But this goes back to the term video games, and I just don't understand how famous people can kind of consider themselves gamers if all they ever play is one specific game. Call of Duty has become the Madden of the first person shooters, and they just keep releasing the same video games every year, and they don't really do anything different. It's so if you're really good at one Call of Duty, you're pretty much good at everything, because they don't really change it up that much. And I feel like people that consider themselves gamers just off of Call of Duty really aren't really gamers at all. They're more of a casual gamer, where they just play video games just for fun when they're bored and stuff like that. And that's fine too. I mean, you can like a certain video game and play just that game for fun, but you're not necessarily a gamer. A gamer, like I've said before, is someone that is passionate about the industry, goes to these types of gaming events, goes to MLG events if they can afford it, talks about video games with their friends, kind of is involved with the video game world as a whole. And I feel like if you only play a certain amount of video games, you're not really that much of a gamer. You're more of a casual gamer. And that's kind of my point of this whole thing is I feel like celebrities are kind of full of themselves, where they think they're kind of higher above the status than everybody else, when in fact they're just pretty much like everybody else. All they really do is they're on a camera the entire time, and they get famous from that, and they feel like just by playing one video game that they're somehow they're somewhat of a gamer. They're not a gamer. They're just a celebrity that plays one type of video game, and that's okay. Like, you could totally play your set game, but calling yourself a gamer when you only play one sort of a video game is not necessarily a gamer. That's a person that buys one video game, buys one franchise, and pretty much just plays that franchise's game. To be a gamer, you got to be kind of involved in some shape or form. And I hope I'm not just like kind of beating the idea over the bush just for the sake of putting out a video. I hope that people actually learn something from this, but I feel like this is a topic that really needs to be discussed, and if you're wondering what video that is, I might look it up and put it in the description if I can find it. But that really got to my gears, and it's something that really pisses me off, is when people who are they think they're of a higher caliber than the rest of society consider themselves gamers off of just playing one game. You're not. Stop being full of yourself. If you were a true gamer, you would kind of go to different gaming events. You'd be involved in the gaming industry somewhat. You'd kind of since you're a quote-unquote actor, you'd be voicing a video game, but you're part of a reality TV show, and you're not necessarily a gamer. You're just someone that plays games just for the fun of it, and that's okay. But I play video games because it's kind of an escape, and it's kind of what I grew up playing. Because let's face it, most people that play video games, they play it to escape reality. They're not playing video games to kind of live reality. They're kind of doing it to escape, and it's another form of escapism, which is okay as well. But I think I've said everything that I needed to say about this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until the next one, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.